Peter about 2 weeks ago. It was the best.
What
Awesome.
is the
Well, as
couch thing?
having guest over and starting on a couch.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, but it is 7 o'clock. I am Benita Riesgraf. This is Team Peak Performance Protocol, and it is our Friday fun day where we get to invite in our customers to give us feedback, to tell us, "Hey, you're doing great on the live," or "Wow, that needs some that needs some more effort." Feedback is just a golden nugget to help you guys grow and improve yourselves. Think of it as a coach giving you that feedback on a field to improve your performance and become the better athlete. So today I'm excited. I think I see Ben. If that's you, Ben, on the iPhone, just wave your hand so I know that's
Mhm.
you. Awesome. You're not labeled as such. We're waiting. We see Dr. Kenny coming in. He just got off his live. Welcome in, you guys. I'm going to start spotlighting. We are going to jump in first because I have been here and he needs to get back out on the golf course. So I don't got much time with him, but I definitely wanted to invite him in,
My cell
introduce
phone
him to all of you
734
guys.
49763.
I'm going to mute Dr. Kenny until he's ready so we don't pick up phone numbers that we shouldn't have. But welcome to Friday.
Hello.
And hello. All right, Dr. Kenny, welcome in. Well, our first guest today is Ben. He is actually my golf coach, and I wanted to
Awesome.
welcome in, give him a few minutes to share his testimony, and then let's get rolling with partner wins after that. So if you guys have a customer here and you know that, put it in the chat so we can start building up our list of who's coming on next. Because I see lots of names I don't recognize, and I need your guys' help. If you are a guest and you don't see who invited you, just put your hand up because we still want to have an opportunity to chat with you. And if it's not your day to talk, that's okay too. Lots of options. You choose what's best. Okay, Ben, welcome in. You started the protocol a couple of months ago and
Yep.
you went out to your first golf tournament. And tell me what happened and what's been happening ever since.
Well, you gave me some product during a lesson and I didn't think much of it. And then I tried it and I was like, well, what is this? And there's just something I was looking for with losing, losing some weight. And I didn't really realize the benefits of how it made me feel besides losing weight. So I started losing pounds. All of a sudden, the fasting till 11 a.m. was easy. I didn't have any cravings, and I've brought it out as late as 2 in the afternoon. I'm like, I better eat now. But the balance is huge. I finished fourth in my first tournament in Arizona, Nevada. It's called the Southwest Section PGA, and it was with ease. And then since then, I finished first, third, first, ninth, shooting 16 under par for like 5 rounds of golf. So my wife's like, "What's going on? What are you doing? I haven't seen you play this way in 5 to 6 years." So like there's something to it. I signed a new deal for 2 years with Ping Golf Clubs out of Phoenix. That was what I played out in college and after college. So went back to my heart and its roots, and then I've gotten since I've gotten this product. Still learning about it. I haven't done the electrolytes, which is I'm teaching 9.5 hours today at 116 degrees. Probably should get the electrolytes. So, I've really enjoyed every minute of it though, and it's really shocking. I've got my wife on it. A couple. I coach the third wide receiver for the New York Giants. He's trying it. I've got a New Orleans Saints safety that just retired, Hernandez Jones. He's trying it. I'm going with a guy to Wisconsin, Brandon Hughes, that used to be a UFC fighter. He's trying it. So like I'm like I need sample packs.
Hey, it's
So
funny, Jeff. You say your name was Jeff. I'm so sorry, buddy.
Ben,
Ben, I'm so
Ben,
sorry. Ben, I
that's
was
a
like yesterday, we're moving, my wife and I. And so she finally got rid of her Peloton. And so we put it on our Facebook page. And so this guy's coming. And if you ever picked a Peloton up, they're freaking stupid heavy, right? And they're awkward.
yeah.
So this guy's trying to load it up. So I go down, I'm like working and I go down. I'm like, hey, man, can I help? And we get talking. I said, what do you do, man? He goes, oh, I'm a caddy for Adam Scott.
Oh,
And so,
wow.
yeah, and his name was John, I think, Laddie or something. Just and I'm like cracking up, and I'm like, like you said, all these athletes are looking, even if they're healthy, they're looking for an an advantage, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
function, mental clarity, man. So that's all. I just want to throw that in there, but it was so funny. Here
Yeah.
you are about golf, and I'm like randomly freaking walking out and start this conversation with this guy. He's like, "Oh my God, dude, this sounds awesome," and stuff. So it was funny.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, no, Adam Scott's a great. He's one of my favorite players. He always has been. So that's great. Yeah.
And then, Ben, you had a question yesterday, and I put it down, and I'm going to have you pick it up for me because I don't remember what it was. But when you're out there golfing and you're in these really hot days, Dr. Kenny, we have a lot of struggles with like kidney disease here just because of the heat that we live in. Um, what sort of plan or mental like trajectory should someone do when they're on the protocol and they're fasting?
Yeah. So when you're doing that, Ben,
Mhm.
naturally, when you fast, your kidneys dump the minerals, right? So,
Yeah.
but that also, when you drop that, it makes you clear thinking, focus, which everybody wants, right?
Right.
And also it protects your muscle while you're fasting. Most people don't know that. So another advantage you can do is like we have something called Stronghold. Okay, and what Stronghold does is it drives, it's got HMB in it, so it stops your muscle from breaking down, and then it drives the sugar into the muscle. And it's got creatine in there. I'm sure you've heard of creatine, how that works.
Sure. Yeah.
And they're getting ready to add a new formula to it with glycine. But I'm telling you this because the more muscle you have, the more you control the sugar, right? And if you're like, we use something called Signal, which I think might have been referring to, but it's loaded magnesium glycinate. And that's one thing that I supplement because we're really deficient in it. And magnesium is what allows muscles to relax, like Velcro unopening, right?
Right.
So blood vessels will relax, muscles won't cramp, they recover faster. We're batteries, and when you're sweating and your insulin's low, you're getting rid of all the minerals. So we use this that has beetroot in it also. So it stimulates nitric oxide to open up blood vessels. It's got citrulline in it for cardiovascular health. And then I use table salt. Well, no, not table salt, Baja Gold salt, Himalayan salt, Celtic salt. I wake up first thing in the morning. I carry that in my golf bag, to be honest with you, Ben.
What is
So
it? It's is that part of the electrolytes that you're talking about?
yeah, the Signal is, brother.
Okay.
And then I keep Signal in my golf bag. I'll show you what it looks like. I do that. And then I also, Ben, I've got where's that? And then
Dr. Kenny is in Florida.
Oh,
on top of that, I keep salt. Like I literally have a salt shaker with Baja Gold in it.
oh,
And
wow.
so, yeah, this is, you guys can read it. It's got 300 or 3,000 milligrams of L-citrulline, 670 milligrams of beetroot, and there's no added sugars. This doesn't break your fast. And it's got magnesium glycinate. It's got everything that you want to perform, especially when you're sweating
So,
your
and
butt
you're
off.
not loaded. So, but my always worry was when I'd be on the course that I don't want a product that gives me jitters over putting like caffeine.
Oh, no,
It's
no.
not loaded with caffeine.
No.
Okay,
So the
that's
difference
important.
here, and that's a great question. So the T is chlorogenic acid. And what chlorogenic acid does, chlorogenic acid stabilizes your blood sugar. Okay. And there's theobromine. So if somebody ever gets like, they want like chocolate when they're stressed out, they're really wanting theobromine, Ben.
Yeah.
Theobromine is what calms them. So coffee, and there's more to it's not just coffee, but like the way they process the coffee, all the stuff. You can get mycotoxins, all these things in it. RT, they're all third party tested for those things. Okay. So what
Okay.
this does is it like the coffee blows up, it causes an epinephrine response, which is a fight or flight. And this is why you can spike cortisol and you'll get jittery. This is like this. You'll get stable, functional energy. And the Signal with that is even better. It won't break your fast. I mix Signal all the time with my tea all the time.
Oh, really? You mix it?
Can, yeah, if you want.
Oh,
Or I
oh,
just wake
wow.
up and chug it. I don't mix them all the time. A lot of people do. You can.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll wake up in the morning and I take that and I take another thing called bone complex that we have for vitamin D3 and K2, and I chug those first thing in the morning.
Okay. I need a list. I need a list from you of what to purchase next.
Let's do
Yeah, we
this
can definitely do.
then.
I don't usually on my lives, I don't go into all that because there's really, guys, there's three things that affect our longevity. Number one is insulin. Okay, and that's what the three-step reset we teach you guys. Like we start there. You guys fall in love with the product, and
Yeah.
then then I can, right? It's like if I'm taking lessons from you, right, Ben?
Right.
Like, and I really like you, and you're like promote, like now I say, oh well, Ben's doing this, then I'm gonna like follow you, right? So
Right.
that's kind of the way I go. And then like, and here's I love our company, and here's why. We have this thing, and it's called. I'll show you guys. So this is like, I'm gonna grab a couple things. Sorry, I'm moving my house, but this. So these are like, I take omegas every day as well, but this is the stronghold. And the reason I'm telling you guys this stronghold, right? This is how you stop your muscle from breaking down. Okay.
Wow.
48% reduction. So what it does, you take this will break your fast. So I put this in my balance when I get ready to eat. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
And so what it does, it's going to stop your muscle from breaking down. It's going to when you eat food and it's converted into sugar, it's going to push it into the muscle, which is where you want it to go to build the muscle to get stronger. Okay. And also it's got creatine in it. Now, this is something else. Now, if you use this with your tea, this weakens the effect of the tea in your concentrating effect. Okay. So we don't do that. But they study this to see, hey, does these work good in combination? I mean, like they're not trying to sell people products, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Right.
And so you sip this when you're not eating. When you eat, you throw this in with your meal. And then I always take protein in front of my meal. So if you're looking for protein, if you know people that are, we only have 4 ingredients. Cacao, which is anti-inflammatory, whey protein, stevia, and salt. And this tastes awesome. And I use a CGM on. I have for years, and I'm looking at what my blood sugar does when I eat. If I use any other type of protein, there's always fillers, it blows up. You don't want your blood sugar blowing up. You want it stable. That's the jitters you're talking about. This stuff, your blood sugar stays flat and it tastes great. So instead of me cheating all the time, because I do have a sweet tooth, I'll use that. And so it kind of suffices me. And I'm putting protein in my body instead of crap. So just some little things that I've done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's great. Can I use that like instead of can I have a shaker and with the protein midway through a round and during a tournament, or is that not appropriate?
No, you could. Once you get your insulin set, Ben, I was doing that to get more protein in my body. And my blood sugar was staying like my insulin's not going stupid. Like my blood sugar stays stable when I do that. So it would technically
How
break.
often do you do that? Like once a day, you'd have the protein,
No, I was taking, let me think about this. Probably 4 times a day I was taking
the
at one point
protein.
to build muscle. Yeah. Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was
Well,
still eating meals, right? So I mean, I was doing this every about 2 hours. And my blood
you-
sugar was like, it was crazy. Like, I mean, it was just like a shelf, even when I ate food.
wow,
Yeah.
that's
But
great.
it's all what you know what I mean? It's like not all clubs are the same. Not all, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's like it really matters, and
Right.
unfortunately, like we think, oh, I'm just going to get this. You know what I mean? Well, no, that's not like, ATP, like creatine is so important for the brain and muscle. If you're getting over 8 grams a day, the rest goes to the brain for functional cognition because your muscle soaks it up. But how you get it in the cell matters. And like they study this and use this technology, like you know what I mean, the science to do that. So like, that's what I tell people, like, people are, can I do this? Well, I don't know. I need to see what you're doing because a lot of those things have fillers and you don't know, and they can blow up. You know what I mean? So what you're using, it matters is what I'm trying to say, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's great.
And
That's
all
great.
of this is NSF certified. I'm seeing a question in the chat there, Dr.
No,
Kenny.
no, it was like, no, it used to be. And let me, like, I talked to Sam about that, Hughes. They had to pay for that. And like, it really wasn't worth the squeeze, but that's how they do it. Our products are all third party tested. So an outside source check, I forget how many times, it's crazy. They're checked for herbicides, pesticides, mold, mildew, bacteria, carcinogens. I know Olympic athletes use these, which have the most, like you can't even have an aspirin if you're an Olympic athlete. You know what I mean? So they're super clean. There's no problems. They're food. I know the Balance, I believe in Canada is Health Canada approved. The tea is not a food, so it doesn't have to be labeled as such or something. And I might be getting that part wrong, but it's super, like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. uses this, Shaq uses this, his cousin uses it. You'll see. You get this in the freaking hands of athletes, it'll go crazy. It will.
That's great. That's great.
Awesome.
Well,
All right.
thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, Doc, and look forward to meeting you in person someday.
I'll be
Yeah,
out
he'll
your
be
way,
here in
man, in
Phoenix
September.
soon.
Yeah, man. So absolutely.
Okay.
So
Great.
Dr.
Awesome.
Kenny, Dr. Kenny,
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Dr.
Ben, have a great day,
Kenny,
brother. Can't wait to meet you. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Dr. Kenny, so you mentioned you had the first step, three important things. Insulin was the first one.
Yeah, number
What
two
would
is
be number two?
metabolic resistance. That's the stronghold. And the third one's sleep.
Okay. Okay, just wanted to ask that.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, I forgot to
Awesome.
finish that point. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. All right, you guys. Well, what a great start to our morning. So, Dr. Kenny, I know in particular in our app, we do have the option to have like athlete mode. Is there like a reason or when you would switch from the everyday mode into the athlete mode on your app?
I honestly haven't looked into that, Benita, to be honest with you. I'm not the real techie guy, like at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I haven't used my app probably the way I should, but I use a CGM. I'm looking at those kind of things. So one thing about me, if I'm not doing something, I'll never tell you. Like if I'm doing
Okay.
it, you'll know it. And if I don't, I'll be like, "Well, that's a good question." You know what I mean? So
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, because I was curious about that. Well, thank you. I'll ask Fenton. And okay, guys, how many of you guys were on that call yesterday with Dr. Fung? We have the opportunity to bring in, right, Emily? It was so good. We're bringing in doctors to speak to our community, and those recordings are up on YouTube. If you need them, share them, get them into the hands of the people who are learning about fasting. I had no idea that there was a difference between male and female fasting last year, and it was a game changer. All right. So who's our next guest today? If you would want to raise your hand and let me know who's in here. I see a few. And so I'm going to wait. I'm looking to the second screen.
Yeah, so as you're doing it, so someone asked me, like, so Stronghold will actually weaken the effects of the chlorogenic acid of the tea. That's why and it also breaks your fast. So that's why you don't want to use it together to optimize the function of the products.
For sure. All right, Lee, let's do this. I am bringing you on. Who do we have today?
Lee, you're gonna have to like get off your hump. You're gonna have to start getting like we're gonna have to get a
Okay.
bigger barn or something for you to put everybody in.
Okay. Well, we have a combined group this morning. Some of them are Pat's ladies from the couch, and some are my customers that were calling Lee's Tea on Friday. So I do think we have a couple questions. Jan has a question. Why don't you stand up, Jan? So they can
Anybody
hear
but Jan. Anybody but Jan.
you. Anybody but
Hey, young lady.
And Dr. Ken, just so you remember, Jan is a partner.
Yeah. That's why I'm giving her crap.
But I'm pretty new, and my sister-in-law just wanted to get started, and she lives a distance from me, so we can't connect physically. But her stuff came,
Awesome.
and she has no thyroid. It was removed, I don't know, 20 years ago, and
Yes,
so
ma'am.
she has to take her medication early in the morning before she takes anything else. She was concerned if there's any calcium in the tea at all. Nothing.
Nope.
No, okay.
No, ma'am. And
then-
Jan, real quick, honey. I have people all the time that don't have a thyroid, that take thyroid medications, and they don't take it first thing in the morning. Okay. So let me give you an example. All right. You're to take medication before you eat. So if it's an hour before she eats, right? I was on 8 medications when I got out of the hospital. Okay. And so one of them were blood pressure. I was on blood thinner because I almost died, and some other things. And my wife just found this because we're moving. She's like, oh my, because I hadn't taken a drug since I was 14. I'm that guy. Okay. My appendix ruptured. I went in the hospital, didn't even have an aspirin. I'm that guy. Okay. So anyway, what I'm telling you this is when you wake up in the morning and you sip the tea keeps you from eating, right? Okay. So let me give you an example. I'm sure there's been a time in your sister's life or anybody's life on here. Let's say during the work week, she would get up at 5 or 6 in the morning to go to work. She would get up, eat, right? Or take her stuff and then eat, right? The weekend comes along, she's going to sleep in because she's tired. Maybe she gets out of bed at 10. When did she take her meds? Did she get up at 5 and take them and eat? Or did she get them? Do you get what I'm saying? All you're doing is extending the window. Now, she can do it that way, but that will break her fast. The products will still help her tremendously. It's just going to take longer. Okay. And I'd be happy to explain that in a way she could understand it. We don't tell people what to do. Dr. Bobby is usually on here. He's a pharmacist. That's how they are to be taken. But people just think break fast means breaking fast. Like that's the first meal you eat. 3 meals a day, people, never happened in human history until Henry Ford created 3 different shifts of work. Okay. I'm dead serious. Like the Egyptians ate 1 meal a day. And for dessert, they ate bread. Like legit, guys. Like this is all concocted. Okay. Like they ain't making money if you ain't eating, right? And you ain't taking. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. But that, see, when you understand history, you can read between the lines. But nobody like hears or reads that. I'm that goofball that reads like that. So hope that helps.
So it'd be good if she waited and took the medication before she plans to eat, like the hour before.
Yeah, we would never tell her not to listen to her, you know what I mean, her doctor, right? Now, my buddy Jimmy had, so here's what happened to Jimmy, and I'd be happy to send you his video. Jimmy, he was eating like we were taught, you know, every couple hours, keep your metabolism up. So everybody understands when you eat food, your blood sugar goes up, insulin pulls it down, right? Okay. And when your insulin pulls it down, your thyroid's got to overcompensate to bring it back up. That's called hyperthyroid. Over time, that gland gets tired and now it becomes hypo, right? Now, once you can't control sugar, it starts dumping into your system. You start getting bloated after you eat and tired, right? Joints start to ache. That's called leaky gut, gut dysbiosis. 80% of the guts, your immune system's in your gut. So now that organ gets attacked by your own immune system because it's on fire, it's inflamed. That's what itis means, like thyroiditis. And so now your immune system attacks it and you've got Hashimoto's or Graves. Jimmy, they took his thyroid out. He developed type 2 diabetes, no thyroid. Jimmy had erectile dysfunction, and Jimmy has none of that now, uses no medications, down 88 pounds, reverses type 2, no thyroid. So I'm just telling you guys what people are told is partial truth or reality from what the person telling them is telling them, because that's usually only what that person knows. I hope that makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, I'd love to have the video if you want to send it to.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be great. Her doctor also said she should take a calcium pill without fail every day. Okay, that was my reaction. It was like, but this certainly has calcium. The balance has calcium in it. Can I reassure her that isn't a good idea?
Yeah, calcium is not the problem. So, for instance, right? So, just so you know, if she's taking a lipid lowering drug, okay, that actually increases calcium buildup. Just so you know. What causes calcium buildup? What causes thyroid issues? What causes all the things that your sister and people are having is insulin resistance. Don't believe me? Like seriously, go chat GPT it, Jan, and ask her to do that. Say, just go chat GPT if insulin resistance causes calcium deposition. So my cousin Vicky she might be on here. She's type 1. She was a double diabetic, told me I was full of poo-poo, right? Her nodules have reduced 25%, her Hashimoto's thyroid nodules in a year and a half. Her hair's grown back. She uses 79% less insulin per day, doesn't even use insulin before she eats now as a type 1 and reverse type 2. So what's the most important thing you can do is control insulin and reverse insulin resistance.
Oh my.
Okay, it has nothing to do with calcium.
Okay.
But that, I know that's what she's called.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Awesome.
Great questions, Jan. Thank you. Because I find like people always learn. You know what I mean? So when we ask questions like that, and I know John was going to share an update to Tong Song. So
Yeah, let's go. Let's wrap up with Lee, and then we'll move. John, you're up next. So Lee, who's up?
We're done. I think that's the only question we had in the room today. They're shy, so we're good.
What? You guys are easy on me today, Lee.
Well, if anything comes up, don't hesitate. I see the chat going off. I'm trying to read and keep up, but I definitely wanted to ask Rachel if she wanted to come on after John and talk a little bit about what she's trying to do. So John, let's go. Let's have you share.
Oh,
I have you on mute. Let's unmute you.
Okay. Can you hear me? All right. Good morning. Just want to tell you this morning that doing real well with my sugars. After 28 years of really having struggled with keeping my sugars low. Every day for years, my sugars were 3, 4, 500s. So that caused my A1C to be high. You know, if it wasn't for Unicity, I would probably be sleeping right now because I'd be depressed. Because they will use that I was on depression medicines for a while. Because I had nowhere to turn to. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was scared. All I knew is that I was getting worse and worse over the years. And now I have been doing so well. My sugars are better controlled. I'm getting a lot of great feedback from my oncologist last week. Wednesday was my nutritionalist through dialysis. She is so impressed right now. My A1C was just 14, I believe, back in May, and now it is 10. So she's like, I hear you're doing fasting. I said, yeah, I am, plus drinking 2 teas and fiber. And she's like, well, whatever it is you're doing, keep doing, because I can see your eyes are clear. And I was like, clear? I don't drink or smoke. She starts laughing. She's like, no, I don't mean like that. She goes, it's a tool that people that have patients, they look in the patient's eye and they're able to see and tell how well they're doing with their medications, how well they're doing with depression, or, you know, just their attitude in general. And she goes, yours weren't doing too good over the spring. She goes, but now I look in your eyes and you look like a brand new person. She goes, I'm really happy for you, John. She goes, keep up whatever you're doing because I've never seen you looking so good.
You know, John, I was going to say something. When they hear fasting medically, they get scared. They really do. So they don't understand that the tea is what stabilizes your blood sugar. And that's what makes fasting really simple. And so John was a 28-year diabetic, people, on dialysis. Like that is, you have limited. So people always ask, are there any contraindications with what you're doing? No. Dialysis patients can only consume so much water per day, right, John?
Yep.
Because they don't pee. The first night, John used just the balance. He was peeing once a day. He peed 6 times that night. And he literally called me and he said, Doc, he goes, one sec, guys. Hey, Greg, can I call you back in like a couple hours, brother? Thanks, brother. Sorry, that's my fridge. We're moving, so I had to take that. Sorry, guys. So anyway, long story short, he uses this once and he pees 6 times. And he's like, is that coincidental? I'm like, there's no such thing. It was 6 days. John got off 180 units of insulin. And his blood pressure has been perfect on dialysis. And every time I see you, John, you look better. Your energy's better. You're dancing. I mean, this is not what happens in managed care, just so you guys know.
No.
Like they basically wrote John off and said, John, basically sing Kumbaya and just go be with your family. I mean, literally, that's what they basically, I used to take care of patients this all the time. I wish I'd had this tool then. You know what I mean? So
One of the things,
what is that, John?
It's a total medicine, just like Keith.
oh my gosh.
I literally was on 22 pills and 2 insulins before.
22 pills a day and 2 insulins. Now, one time you were 200 and something units of insulin a day. When you started this, you weren't. You were like 180, I think, right? Because you weren't eating as much.
Yeah.
Couldn't eat, right? Okay.
Yes, because like I said, I've been trying to find ways to get out of using all these drugs and this managed care. But they just kept adding more and more. Every time I came home from the doctor, I would show my wife my scripts. And she's like, oh my God, what did you do? Steal the doctor's script pad? That's how many scripts I had.
Ah,
You know, John, I want to show something. This is comeback Keith. I can't usually show this, but I like to show this to you guys right now. Okay.
we're going to give a warning.
Warning, this is a diabetic foot ulcer patient. So when we tell you guys that we are literally saving people's lives, this is what happens. Okay. I've got now, I think, 6 or 7 of these that I know of. That is right there, killed Keith last year. I can't show this on our lives. That was I don't know how many months. Keith will tell you $180,000 just to stop getting worse in hyperbaric chamber. That's 3.5 months. I don't have just one of these guys. There's another one. We've got Craig. This is a new one I just added. There's another one. I mean, we have these all day long, guys. And I'm telling you this because people are dying because they are only getting one side of the coin. And I mean, anytime I've ever asked somebody, like, and John, I mean, you're on disability, right?
Yes.
So if anybody should be crying about something and price, right? You got everybody can do this, okay? Everyone can do this. And I'm telling you, what's the most important thing in your life? It's the freaking thing that you're losing by the day, right? So, this is what we do with people all day long, all day long. And
All
and
day
that
long.
is the worst case you can handle as a dialysis patient because they can only drink. How much water were you told to drink a day, John?
I can't. I'm not even supposed to drink a liter of water.
Now look at that. In 1 month, how's your life changed, John? Just sum it up real quick.
Just it's changed for nothing but the better. Uh, I, I was really thirsty before, sticking to that 1 liter, but now I'm actually drinking 6 ounces less, I believe, just doing the 2 teas and the fiber, and I am not thirsty at all. It's made just that alone easy, and just to add something really quick. My wife sees the changes in me. She wants to start doing the tea now because she sees the energy that I have and what it's done for me in 1 month. And she's like, okay. And my wife never pays attention to anything that I'm trying to do, diet, eating salads, whatever. And this is the first time she's like, okay, you got my interest.
Yay.
So happy for you,
We
brother.
love that for you, John. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see you just continue week after week. Dr. Kenny, one thing John said is that his practitioner noticed his eyes. Now, I'm not sure if she was actually looking into it, but we know that diabetic eyes do tell a story. 100%. Can you share that a little bit about the physiology of what's happening and why our eyes really do reflect the health inside of us?
Yeah, so this is an example I like to use. So you ever eaten creme brulee before?
Mhm.
Anyone? They blowtorch sugar and that turns into glass. Do you know that this is known as glycation in our bodies? And one of the first places glycation shows up is in your eyes and your kidneys. And this sugar is very sticky and it forms this little layer. It's really easy to pop blood vessels in the eyes and the kidneys. And so they start telling you get protein in your urine. It's almost like they're supplanting that into you, suppositioning that into you, right? Guys, protein is essential. It's known as essential amino acids, essential fatty acids. Fat and protein are essential. Carbs are not. I like carbs. You all like carbs. You got problems with carbs. We all do. We're carbo sugarholics. Okay. And what happens, they've known for 112 years. Go read on the Inuits. They're native Indians up in Canada and Alaska. They never ate carbs. They ate fat and protein. Zero diabetes, zero cardiovascular disease, zero cancer. So what do? They reverse engineer it to sell you carbs. What causes diabetes? And when you start getting floaters in your eyes, cataracts are younger and younger. You start to also get protein in the urine. Do you tend to see diabetics on dialysis, or do you see bodybuilders that consume protein all day on dialysis? All you got to do is just question things a little bit, right? And this is what sticks to everything. It sticks to your arteries, and your arteries, okay, ladies and gentlemen, develop calcium because this chars and scars, it burns. If a diabetic goes into a coma, a healthcare provider will inject them with a sugar solution. And as soon as they do, that sugar, if they miss the blood vessel, it will blow up the blood vessel. It necrotizes the blood vessel. It's corrosive. They put this in everything with a box and a barcode. Okay? You ever see your kids when they eat some goldfish when they're little and they're insulin sensitive? There's no fiber in that, but it tastes salty. Tortillas, chips, anybody? Tastes salty, so you don't think it's candy, you don't think sugar, and it blows up their blood sugar. And because this is so corrosive, insulin yanks it down. And once you pop, you can't have how many? They tell you all the time what they're doing to you. And so the more spikes that you have hitting those blood vessels, it's like you're damaging those blood vessels, and it shows up in the eyes and the kidneys first.
Yep. There
And
it
this
is.
is what happens, guys, and it's like this is why your kids crash out. And then they're that's called ADHD. And then they put them on a class 1 amphetamine. And it's just a freaking all teachers know, when do you give kids cupcakes? When do you give them cake? At the end of what? Because too much sugar in the brain, learning stops. Too much sugar, check this out. This is the game. This is the whole game. When God makes sugar, he wraps it in fiber. He wraps it in the antidote. The only sugar he didn't wrap in the antidote was honey, and he wrapped it in a beehive. So when you get too much sugar in your joints, you get osteoarthritis. Too much in your brain, you get migraines. Too much in your kidneys, right? Nephritis. Too much in your female parts, PCOS. Too much in your liver, high triglycerides, VLDL, lipoprotein B. You guys see all this stuff? Too much in your stencil, guys. The stencil leaves the pencil, muscle, blood pressure. That's just that's just some of it. They know exactly what they're doing. The word diabetes means to flow or pass through. And mellitus means sugar. It means the way they used to test this thousands of years ago, they would taste the urine. And if it was sweet, you got diabetes. Your body innately knows. That's why you guys are peeing all the time. When you drink Unimate, you pee all the time. Do you know why you pee? Because you're getting rid of stored sugar. And when you start this, insulin levels drop, your blood sugar will go up. The only reason you know it's going up is because you're measuring it. And the system tells you to take something to put the sugar back into the cells. Why would you do that? It's corrosive. But you don't know that. You just do what you're told to do. So if you didn't measure it, you'd just be peeing all the time. You wouldn't even know what's happening. But eventually that sugar builds up in the kidneys, and now you can't excrete it. And now you're dehydrated. You're needing to drink all the time and thirsty all the time, but you can't. They tell you can't. See, it's so funny when you understand how this stuff works. You start to see through the dogma and you start to understand. And when you understand, you won't fall for what they tell you. And that's honestly why I'm here. That's why he kept me alive, is to teach every freaking person everything that I knew, because I promised him I would do that. And I'm just sick of watching people struggle and suffer and be told that nothing can help you. Yeah, okay, in their system, that's correct. Right? That is correct. There's nothing they could do for John. They had done everything. They weren't lying to John. But they don't know that there's other ways. And they won't learn that if we don't speak up and we don't speak out. People are dying if we don't do what we know, right? So that's my soapbox. But like, I get messages from people like John, I swear to God, all day long, every day. If you've ever worked with me and you're around me, you see it every day, all day. I can't even keep up with it, guys. It's so massive.
And it's amazing. And you know what, Dr. Kenny, like when you're talking like that and talking about opening people's eyes, it's happening. And one of the things is the kids, right? Like when we can help the kids see it, the better off we will all be. Right now, I see so many of my peers, they don't even have kids. And they were told not to have kids because they would save the planet. And now they're like, the planet's only like what? The same it was before, the same it is today, the same it'll be tomorrow. And now they don't even have a legacy. So it's.
You know, what you said, Benita, Aunt Kim on here, Aguirre, is a nurse. And I asked Kim one time, she's a pediatric nurse, said, Kim, she's in Dallas, Fort Worth area. I said, what's the youngest you've seen a type 2 diabetic? I believe it was 2. Am I wrong, Kim? I think if you
Sorry about that. Yes, it was 2.
Guys, they're putting modified food starch in baby food. If you're a mom and you are a drug addict, does that not cross the placenta to the baby?
100%.
And what is the definition of a drug? A mind-altering substance. Okay, and if you know you shouldn't be consuming something and you're consuming it, and guys, I'm being honest with you, I love ice cream, I love pizza, I love sugar. I do, but I still try to protect myself and I don't do it all the time, right? That is the problem. And how in the world are 2-year-olds, right? Do you guys get it? And if you're diabetic, your cardiovascular disease goes up 80%. Alzheimer's, dementia goes up 81%. I know we got other people want to share. I'm sorry, but like we really need you guys to understand this stuff.
And if you do want to share, please raise your hand. Let us know if you're here. I've had so many guests. I told someone the other day, I love it that we're having repeat guests from months ago. I don't recognize you. Like so many things change and so quickly when you start this that it's just you have to raise your hand. All right, Andrea.
Yeah, well, Dr. Kinney said something that just brought something to my mind, and I thought, I got to share this. Dr. Dieter, when he teaches, because he's a phenomenal teacher, one of the things.
Oh, she just froze.
She did.
We lost her.
Okay, I'm back. I don't know why I froze.
We heard you say he's a phenomenal teacher, Dr. Dieter, and that was it.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal teacher. But Dr. Kinney, you said you like pizza, you like ice cream, you like this stuff. Dr. Dieter teaches with the fiber on board, his glucose spike is not going to be the same as somebody else's. And that is huge for us to understand when and that's why we take fiber with every meal. We don't just do it with one. My digestion sucked. I didn't digest protein for 57 years until I found this. Literally, I did not digest protein. It was awful.
Oh, you were digesting it. You were eating your own.
Well, I don't know what I was doing.
You know what I mean? Like, and I mean that like humbly, like guys, I had the same problem. I was sarcopenic. I couldn't put muscle on. So your body, when you're insulin resistant and your insulin's high, you can't burn fat and you can't make ketones. That's why your brain shuts off and you get brain fog. So when you start controlling insulin and blood sugar, your ketones kick back on, your brain turns on, and your body, because you're able to burn fat, you start to build muscle again. This is why so many of you are getting stronger and more flexible.
Yeah.
If you're a customer using this and your flexibility and muscles went up in strength, you can put muscle in there, right? Talk about this is why this is happening. I don't care if you're 80, 102, 1, it doesn't matter. It's all about insulin, guys.
It was just phenomenal. But I think that's a foundational piece that we need to understand. If you eat without this on board, your glucose and your insulin is going to go higher. This curbs that, and there's nothing like it. So we're getting stronger every day, and I love it.
And if I go out to
Andrea
Italian,
said
here's some hacks. I'll do 2 fibers. If I'm gonna have Italian, you know what I mean? Like I'm going to somewhere and they're making like homemade noodles. Dude, I'm gonna eat that. But I'm gonna use food order. So if you're new to this, right? I'm gonna start off with the fiber, like the gel that we talk about. I'm gonna have a salad with olive oil. Right. Then I'm going to have some meatballs or chicken, some kind of heavy protein as much as I can. And then I'm going to have the pasta last. Literally, I eat my meatballs before I eat the spaghetti. I'm serious. And then I eat another fiber after I'm done. And your blood sugar is completely different when you do that. And your insulin levels stay lower and sensitive.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you, Andrea, for being so passionate about talking about food order and understanding like gut health and the brain. All of it is amazing. We had a conversation going, Dr. Kenny, over in the chat about frozen shoulder. For some reason, I feel like that has come up over and over again this week. It's Rachel. Rachel, would you like to come on? Because I would really like you to have this opportunity to ask your question.
Yeah, I can explain that. Yeah.
Me? Okay.
Yeah, so frozen shoulder, you have cranial nerve 11, cranium, skull, okay? And inside of there, you have ventricles inside of the brain. They're open cavities and spaces. You make a substance called CSF, cerebral spinal fluid. It's created in the brain, and it literally circulates all across around the brain, under the pia mater, the dura mater, around the spinal cord. And there's 2 places the spine connects: the base of the skull, and the butt bone, the sacrum. It can get contorted. What happens is, that's why if somebody has meningitis, the meninges, that means mother, tough mother, dura mater means tough mother. Okay, that's where glucose is also found. And so in a case like that, there is 2 nerves that come out of the jugular foramina. Okay, foramina just means hole or opening. One is the spinal accessory nerve that controls the shoulder. The other is the vagus nerve. And when you get pressure in the brain, okay, the brain doesn't have pain receptors. So people don't feel pain in the brain, but they'll get pain all across their body. They'll have joint pain. They'll eat, they'll get real bloated. They'll get tired. They'll start to get joint pain. Their fingers, the rings won't come off. Their waistline expands. They're puffy after they eat. That's all gut dysbiosis, leaky gut. 80% of the gut or immune system's in your gut. And the way I explain this to people is if you take a clown and this is a balloon, that balloon's your digestive system. And it goes all the way from your mouth to your butt. Okay. And if I poke holes in this, then this water is going to seep everywhere. Does that make sense, guys? Right. And that water is inflammation. You poke these holes, that's where leaky gut comes from. Autobiography means they write a book about themselves. Auto in Latin means self. Your immune system, 80% of it's in your intestines. And it lines the intestinal wall. And so now this stuff starts seeping out and gets in the bloodstream. And if it goes to your shoulder or your thyroid, you've got an autoimmune disease in the thyroid or the kidneys or wherever it goes. When you get this buildup of pressure inside the skull, you've got that opening. It's this big where the nerve comes out going to your shoulder. The other nerve's the vagus nerve. Vagus nerve controls every automatic response in your body. It controls breathing, digestion, respiration, menstruation, whatever you need to live. That's why they hang you. They hang people, they sever the brainstem where that is. You die immediately. Okay. And those nerves come out of that opening. And when you get inflamed, that opening gets really small. And now not only you get digestive issues, but your shoulder doesn't move like it does anymore. And once you start using this starts suppressing LPS. LPS is what pokes holes in the bottle in your digestive
Well,
system.
I've been drinking it for a year,
Yep. And so what happens?
but it's still there.
Yeah. And what happened, if you are doing this properly, I haven't seen that last that long. And I've seen people that couldn't even lay on it, to be honest with you, Rachel. So it depends on what people are doing. If people are taking medications, if people are taking supplements, if people are taking other things, they're breaking that. And if you break
Well,
your
my
fast, you're
story,
blow up.
my story is I have always drank this every day, but I wasn't doing the protocol 100% like I should. And
Were
my
you not taking the fiber daily,
triglycerides was
Rachel? I'm sorry.
my triglycerides was finally at 77 in May. I just noticed that yesterday. I got retested, and my A1C is gradually going down. And so I'm just now coming back this week to do this 100%. So yeah.
Make sure,
I'm
here's
coming
the other
back.
thing that happens, Rachel, with people. My wife did this, okay? When people use usually the problem that people have, if they have any problem, and it's not from the products, that's the honest to God truth. It's fiber. They're so screwed up in their gut. So when they start using the fiber, sometimes they'll feel bloated and they don't understand why. And so I tell people, if you remember the movie Gremlins, like we want Gizmo, right? Gizmo's fed by fiber. Okay. We are eating a diet that's feeding the gremlins and they don't care. They tear up everything, right? Okay. And so the fiber's killing those bad ones off. And that's why your people bloat and they get uncomfortable. So if you don't feed Gizmo every day, he can't repopulate and the bad ones keep winning. And so people will take part of it. They won't, I know when they're doing it, not doing it right. Like I'm telling you guys 1,000%. I know when people are listening and not doing it. I've seen this a million times. I'm not kidding you guys. Okay. And so this is what happens. So if you take it every day and if you have trouble with it and you're doing fiber or you have customers that are, tell them this to take the fiber on an empty stomach. Okay. Like don't use it with their meal. Okay, for maybe a week or so and ink it in a little bit. Here's why. If you take it on empty stomach, you're not getting it, it's not going to lower the blood sugar like it normally would, but it's going to feed the right gut bacteria. And it's going to be simpler on your system. You won't get usually as much bloat, and that'll start to repopulate that. When you repopulate that, those holes get plugged up and that inflammation stops seeping out. And now the brain starts to literally heal. Like I see this all the time. Now the inflammation goes down. This is why people's headaches and migraines go away. They've known this for over 100 years. migraines, neurological problems. If they put them on a ketogenic diet, it all goes away. But that's hard to maintain. I've done ketosis in this modern day. It's
It is.
hard. And
Mhm.
I'm not trying, that's not
I can't do
sustainable to
that.
people. Yeah, it's so hard. I mean, like it's like I've done it and
I-
you look like it's tough, right?
Well, I feel like even some of our meats have extra sugars added to
They
it.
do.
And then
They
the
100% do.
processed modified cornstarch, right, shows up
Yeah.
everywhere.
But this
I
helps
believe
your body
God
get into
God
that.
created all these foods for us to enjoy to eat. You know, the fruits and vegetables. We shouldn't be able to restrict ourselves. That's how I believe.
Well,
So,
here's the other thing though, too, Rachel, like fruit ain't fruit. Let me show you. This is not fruit. Right here.
you guys, yeah, like the size of
This
the
is
pits.
not an apple. That is a modified or this is picked out, selected, right? A real apple is tart. It's a freaking crab apple. Why? Very low sugar in a tart, right? It's very high fiber. We like sugar.
I'm
It
not.
That's
looks
what's causing all
nice.
the issues.
It's polished. Yeah.
It's
You know what I mean?
polished.
And we know that when you say that, but like, you know what I mean? Oh, and everybody
It
thinks, oh,
doesn't look like it actually fell from a tree, you know?
no, that would pull the tree over. Right. But that's the thing. I mean, like, that's the thing that I run. Like, I had a lady the other day and she was like, I'm doing this and she goes, I'm hungry 2 days in, you know, and I said, look, I go, that could be this. When you get hungry using this system, your body's transferring over into fat burning really quick. And that happens. You got to increase good salt. Okay. Because ladies, think about this real quick. If you guys ever menstruate or are pregnant, you crave food, right?
Mhm.
Like certain foods. You and I are not hungry because you're storing fat. That's stored energy. You're craving minerals. So go look up the minerals in that food and put those in your body and watch what happens. That's what you're really hungry for. Okay. And I'm telling you this because what happens is, and I said to the lady, I go, you're using something. I don't know what you're doing, but this doesn't happen. I go, I go, are you taking meds? Are you taking supplement? Nope, nope, nope. And then the next day she's, oh, I am taking this supplement and it's got 5 grams of carbs in it. And I'm like, that's it. I go, and then now here's the thing. The very next day, she orders for her husband. So I'm telling you guys this because I know if you're having trouble, reach out to me. Okay. Like, don't try to figure it out yourself. I can help you guys eliminate that a lot faster. I promise you. And be realistic also, right? If you're a diabetic, Rachel, I know you're not, but like, let's say you're freaking
Yes, I am a
shoulder.
diabetic.
Okay. Okay. So it takes 20 years for you to develop diabetes, screwing up your metabolism. If you've had it for 20 years, that's 40 years. So I'm going to give everybody an example here. If we have a bad relationship for 40 years with a spouse and you're doing things randomly, or even if you're consistent for 2 months, that's a great honeymoon, but that ain't fixing 40 years, right?
Yeah, my highest was 14
Mhm.
for my A1C, and now it's down to 12.5. So it's gradually.
Yeah,
getting
just
down.
watch other things that change. Like my cousin Vicky, same way. She's like, my nodules in a year and a half. Like you'll notice if you're consistent with this, you'll continuously see things change, guys.
Yeah.
Like things you don't even recognize. You just don't. Everything's tied to insulin. I don't care what anybody tells you. When you figure that out, you understand why you've never heard that. Because when you figure it out, you fix the problem, and then you get off that wheel. You know what I mean? So I hope that helps. So.
Yeah, one thing Andrea has pointed out to me is I need to eat more fats. So she
Mhm.
mentioned that in the chat for you to talk more about the fats and
Let
helps
me
you
show
look
you that real quick.
fuller.
Yeah, check this out. Watch this, right? So I'll show you this. So this is what they scare people from, especially our generation, right? You weren't supposed to eat fat. Remember this, ladies and gentlemen,
Low
right? Fat
fat
makes you
only.
fat, right? Low fat, no fat, whatever, right? So check this out, right? I'm going to show this to you guys real quick. So how many of you have been told not to eat the yolk in an egg? Think about that, right? That is where the baby chicken is. The yolk has the fat. Now, notice here, this is fat. Look how long it takes for your blood sugar to come back down, but it barely rises. Only 10% of fats are converted to glucose. That's sugar, which is essential. 40% of proteins converted into sugar, and it takes 4 to 5 hours to come back down. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yes.
Carbs, look at this. Look at that, 1 hour. That's why God makes carbohydrates available in nature. When are fruits ripe? In the spring or the summer and fall? He makes things in season. And he does that because when this gets spiked the highest, your body makes the most insulin. Insulin's like a key fob to open the doors in your car. So now when that bear goes into hibernation, it eats a lot of berries and honey at the end of summer. Insulin gets spiked to insulate, right, the body to store, and then blood sugar levels drop. When you eat fat, right, fat, the yolk in the egg is mostly fat, and it keeps the blood sugar flat. If you're diabetic and your blood sugar stays low, do you have to inject more or less insulin? When you only eat the white, it's all protein. When you add the bread, you spike the blood sugar the highest. Guys, when you understand what I'm teaching you, you understand what you need to do and not do, regardless of what someone tells you to do. Okay? Maybe they're telling you right. Maybe they're not telling you right. I'm not trying to tell any of you anything. I'm trying to help you all understand. Because when
Dr.
you
Kenny,
understand, you won't fall for that.
when you show that example, I remember being in nutrition class and walking through trying to understand that. But what you said is the body converts it to glucose. When I didn't know that concept, I was like, what do you mean that fat and protein is turned into glucose? And I think some of us get hung up like, oh, well, that shouldn't have carbs or that does have carbs. And we got into this like, look at the label and count mindset. And it has nothing to do with that. Our labels are a whole other thing. But can you touch just 1 second on why that is? Why does our body take what we put into it and turn it into carbs?
Because it turns into glucose, not carbs, right?
Thank
I
you.
think that's what you meant to say.
Thank you.
It
Yeah.
turns into glucose because glucose is essential. Like you have to have glucose, right? So if you're a woman and you're menstruating day one, okay, you're an estrogen, right? And guys, you need to know this too. John, you can know this for your wife, right? When she bleeds, right, that means, okay, great. High estrogen, low insulin. They can fast for days. Their skin looks beautiful. They're putting out the bat signal to us men. They're talkative. They want to have fun, right? And then testosterone hits about day 12. You start craving protein. You start getting nesting energy. You start fixing the house and getting ready to have. And then progesterone hits. And you guys can't find your words and you want to read and and you want to eat a bunch of crap. You want to eat a bunch of, don't eat crap, don't eat sugar, go eat root vegetables and fruits at that point. Now you're going to make your eating window bigger instead of smaller. Okay. And because you gotta have glucose to release an oocyte, an egg, to make an egg. Okay. And so there's reasons for this. Women are far better fat burners than men, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
Because that's why you live longer. You guys shed your internal lining to make room for a freaking baby. You shed toxins way better than men. And you're better fat burners, but your fat cells store toxins. Okay. And so what happens is glucose can become toxic when you have too much of it. You're not supposed to eat all this sugar. And carbs are 90% turned into sugar. Protein's 40%. Fat goes 10. So if you keep blood sugar elevated, it's corrosive. So this is how much sugar your body has at all times in it. Whenever you eat or drink something, the worst thing on the planet you can do is drink sugar, sugary drinks. There is nothing to suppress this. That's what modified food starch does too. And when that happens, the pancreas goes, my God, there's nothing like this ever designed by God. And it yanks it down and you crash. And it puts it away in storage and it goes, my God, we've got so much energy. Let's store this while we can and grow tissue. Cancer included, just so you know, parasites included. And so now what happens is the bear goes into hibernation. It makes total sense. You feast and famine because you didn't find food like that until grocery stores were created. And so the bear eats and the cells get full and the car doors are wide open because insulin's a key fob and it shoves everything in. And then the bear doesn't eat for months, right? You don't eat at night. That's the only time you guys don't eat, right? Everywhere you go to an event, let's put food out. You feel bad if you don't put Tac Tacs and Knacks out and all this stuff. And this is like you're constant. That doesn't count, Dr. Kenny. That quarter of a cracker doesn't count. That one squirt that I put in my coffee doesn't. Yes, it always counts. Your biology always
Always
counts.
count.
Every single time it counts. Okay. And this is you kidding yourself. Okay. And you can lose weight. You can do liposuction. You can do the GLP-5s and all the stuff that you want. Guys, liposuction and all those kind of things. Here's what happens. You got closets in your house. Those are your fat cells. If I come to your house today, you don't know I'm coming. Oh my God, Dr. Kenny's coming over. I got to put all the crap up. I got to put it in the closet, right? You're Monica and Friends. And then what happens is I come over, and then when I leave, all the crap dumps back out, right? And the way it dumps back out is you drop insulin levels when you sleep, and everything dumps back out. That's why you guys wake up with dawn effect, which is not normal. Sugar's not normal like that. You're in storage. You didn't eat. And what happens is your cortisol levels go up because it goes, Jesus, this is freaking terrible for you. Get up, move your body so your muscle soaks up the crap. But if you take the closets out of your house by doing liposuction and you guys are going in and to do all this stuff, now you got nowhere to put the toxins. It just keeps rusting out the whole innards in your body. Welcome to managed system land. I hope I'm getting through to some of you. I hope you guys are having some ding dongs going off in your brains.
I see some shaking heads in there, Dr. Kenny. Very much so. I see Molly laughing. So we know going into the weekend. And for a lot of us, you guys who have been on the protocol, sometimes it's hard for us to remember what those first few weeks were like. And so we really appreciate when we bring customers in here and we get to share these stories. Rachel, now that you've been through this and you're coming back on and you're going to be more consistent, like we are cheering you on. We are holding you close. The thing is some of us will plateau. I'm in a plateau right now. And the thing is that's when our bodies has this other revolution. Like you are going to regenerate again, and you're going to regenerate again. And health is not a one-time thing. Health is a season. Health is longevity. It is decades. It is your entire life. It is not something that is just going to be 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. So what you have to share with us, Dr. Kenny, is always phenomenal. I really appreciate you going into some of the science. I know that you use lots of fun, big words for me today. So I really appreciate that. I love geeking out and learning. But as we go into the weekend, as you're unwriting some of these things, knocking out legs from belief systems that we have, and you're in the middle of a move, we can see all of that that's coming. What's one thing that people can hold on to this weekend so that they know that they're still doing the best for their bodies when they're drinking this tea and getting that fiber in?
Guys, what we're teaching, you don't have to be perfect. Like we understand the world you're in. We understand there's going to be things that are going to happen. It's okay. Just don't quit. If you just do what we show you, it will change your life. Like I have seen this so many times, I can't even tell you. And people want instant gratification in this society, like immediate. Guys, nothing on this planet happens instantly. Nothing. Zero. And if it does, it ain't gonna last. And what we don't fix, our little ones inherit. And that honestly is what drives me to get through every human being, because when you hold a hand of a kid who's 14 that should have died when he was 9 from cancer, and you hear his mother screaming and crying, it changes you. And you become called to dig and look and search in ways. And I searched for 20 something years. I study like this. This is not by accident. Like minimally 5 hours every day. I study like this every day or longer for 20 something years. I don't expect any of you to understand that. Like it's not going to happen. It's like having a mom that's had 12 kids for 25 years and she's been raising them for out. Her knowledge and understanding of children is completely different than somebody else, right? Ask yourself why you're at where you're at. Did you know how you got there? If you don't, how are you going to get out of there, right? I was always smart enough to follow a system that worked. Guys, we guarantee the product because it works. All you have to do is use it properly and consistently, not the way you think. Use it properly and it will change your life. I promise you that. Okay. And like when I learned that, I've been smart enough to know I follow people that know what they're doing. I look at results. And when you see people getting results with hundreds and thousands of people, that's not accident, right? And it's no different in business. If somebody's winning over and over and over again, there's a reason. Follow that and you'll never make a mistake, as my mentor Bob would say. But don't follow what everybody else is doing, because that's exactly what you're going to get. And so just be consistent is the most important thing I could say to anybody. Be consistent, use it properly. This thing won't let you down, I promise you. Okay? You owe that to yourselves, guys, right? So I got to go. I've got to go do a walkthrough. But thank you, guys. And if you guys need help, let me know. I love you guys. I'm so proud of you guys. I just really care and I really want you guys to get it. And I know that's not how it works. So I get rough sometimes because I love you and I want you to be better yesterday. Okay. So you guys deserve that. And I love you guys.
All right. Go be rough, Dr. Kenny. Adios. All right. That's the end of our Family Friday. Thanks for being here on the couch. Thanks for being here. If you didn't get a chance to talk, come back, visit us again. Make sure you let us know that you are here. We want to hear your stories. We want to hear your feedback. Go out there and make it great. Adios.